They emerge from one of the darkest tunnels in football into the Stadium of Light. This place hasn't stopped smiling for 7 days. Newcastle were again. Palace beginning to find their feet in this game. There's Punchin.
Again, good closing down. You just heard him there, don't all run away. You can see his point, he wants somebody coming towards him.
Seems to be relishing this role, playing centrally just behind the striker, Jason Punchin. Player that Alan Pardew did sign for Southampton. Glenn Murray using his body well. Here's Bolasie. Punchin's there for the pullback. Yannick Bolasie, great skill from Bolasie. He just seems to get himself out of tight spots. There's Punchin. It's opened up for Jason Punchin, and Punchin took up the offer.
Yeah, it was good. Oh, I'll tell you what, this is not bad from him. He's difficult to pick up. You talk about that role he's playing.
There's Glenn Murray on the charge. Eventually he was stopped by Billy Jones, but this is a good spell now for Crystal Palace. That was a thumping challenge.
There you see, just that's dangerous.
Yellow card is out.
I think there was a little hint of panic around this stadium that it might have been red there.
Protects the ball so well, Jason Punchin. Defoe digging in the right back position there to make sure Kelly didn't have a free run at that.
But this has been the story of the first half for me, for Sunderland. Their excellent work rate, they're closing down. It's been absolutely different class.
O'Shea. There's Wickham, shielding the ball nicely. Gomez has got Van Aanholt as an option and plays it perfectly into his path. Van Aanholt, and it was a wonderful effort by Fletcher.
Well, it certainly was. That's a better place to do what he tried to do. But you look again, it's just him in the box, one man to pick out. Jermaine Defoe arrives late. That's good acrobatics. Adjusts himself well. Look at the wind just making it difficult for Van Aanholt from Fletcher.
Well, he's struggling for goals. There's a man who isn't. It's Glenn Murray.
Part in mouth time there.
Now Delaney. Glenn Murray, plenty of time to do what he wanted with that. It's Bolasie who picks up. Yannick Bolasie and Murray. A striker reborn. He thought he was heading out of the door, but a changing of the guard at Palace has changed his career. Sunderland complain about no offside flag. Crystal Palace celebrate.
Master Predator, that far post advocate. Not a happy man whatsoever, but has he got a right to be unhappy? Well, we see it's Murray who wins that initial header, and then you see his movement. Look where he moves to now, to that far post. There's the ball. He is onside.
There's Kelly, who came on for the injured Papaswari in the first half.
Jermaine Defoe really struggled to get into the game. They need a bit of his magic again to get them back into the game.
You know, they always talk about the new manager bounce when a new man comes into office, but Crystal Palace have kept on bouncing, kept on soaring under that man. The game is not won here yet, but he has gone back to his roots, back to a club where he knew the culture, he knew everything about the place, the people, the fans, and he has lifted them from their knees.
Yeah, he's got more bounce than Zebedee at the moment, doesn't he? Crikey.
Murray, he's won that flick on, and this is Bolasie! Well, after the pride of a derby win, always comes the fall for Sunderland, and it could be happening again. Palace have burst their bubble.
Well, after doing everything right in the first half, defensively closing down well, they've just committed the cardinal sin twice. Oh, he's offside there, you know, when that ball's played. He stood offside, look, when that ball was played. It was very close, and Bolasie again, very, very close, finishes it well. It's a little bit braver than Pantilimon there. Great header by Murray. And just plays it in between the legs, but very tight on both occasions. When the ball was first played for Murray, looked. The thing is, when you know you've got somebody like Glenn Murray in the side who will win his fair share in the air, you should just expect him to win it, and he did expect him to win it. And got himself a goal.
Van Aanholt on the surge, watched all the way by Ward, who did well.
That was excellent defending, because Van Aanholt was desperate for him to dive in there, trying to get a penalty. But he didn't, stayed on his feet. Excellent. See there, bursts into the box, desperate for him to just slide in, but doesn't, seize it out. Excellent defending.
Less than 4 minutes between both goals, 2 goals which have silenced this place. Apart from the 2,000 Crystal Palace fans up in the top tier, away to our left-hand side. And they could be in for more here, because Yannick Bolasie's got the better of John O'Shea. It's Bolasie! It's an outrageous finish!
Well, a lot of people seem to be getting up out of the seats and disappearing here already. He's scratching his head, and no wonder. Team talk would have been, I'm sure, at half-time, just do the same as you did first half. Be tight, be difficult to beat. All of a sudden, it's one long ball. Dealt with by O'Shea, lets it bounce, and the strength there of Bolasie, and he finishes it magnificently, you know. Really is a quality finish. He's still got a lot to do. You feel O'Shea.
Goals to game ratio than Glenn Murray at the moment, 2 of those being Messi and Ronaldo.
No surprise there then.
He will have to go some to catch up with those 2.
Yeah, over 2 seasons possibly.
Wilf Zaha. Well, these Palace players really enjoying themselves out there now.
Yeah, very quiet in the first half, Zaha, but second half he's come to life a bit.
Nketiah, Pantilimon has made his mind up to come and just about kept the ball inside his box.
Oh, there's a lot of empty spaces around this ground now.
Yeah, not quite the mass exodus of Aston Villa a few weeks ago, but a few fans have made their point. Billy Jones. Adam Johnson. There's Wickham. Now Jermaine Defoe. He's been on the fringes so far today. Well, Glenn Murray is putting himself around. He's got the better of John O'Shea. And this is Yannick Bolasie, who could be in for the hat-trick. Bolasie gets it. He just wouldn't give it up. He's got magic in those boots. He's got guts too. And he is sprinkling stardust all over this game.
Well, again, you have to question John O'Shea, unfortunately. That wind playing havoc with the ball again. They lose possession on the edge of the box. It's a long clearance, and there looks like O'Shea's favourite to get it. Can't get there. The ball bounces. The assistant was going to put his flag up, you know. I'm sure he was. And the ball, you think the chance has gone there. Pantilimon, you think's done enough. But the persistence there to want his hat-trick as much as that. Absolutely superb. Well, I'm not sure there was a lot wrong with what he did there. But that persistence is absolutely superb.
Now the break on. Jason punching with this rampant Crystal Palace team. Options left and right. Who does he pick? He finds Yannick Bolasie. And Bolasie for MacArthur. And Pantilimon gets to that.
Look at the pace they break with here. Didn't see that in the first half. When you're 4-0 up, it's easier to do that. Again, he tries to be unselfish, and it's good reaction save there from Pantilimon. punching as well. You know the pace he possesses is going to cause problem. There's the ball for
Yannick Bolasie, who has scored a hat-trick here today. He has struggled for goals all season. He's been assisting plenty.
I think you actually mentioned that before the game, Tim. We were talking about him.
Van Aanholt being hounded by Wilf Zaha. And Alan Pardew has asked his Crystal Palace players to express themselves more, play a little bit more football than maybe they've been used to in the last year or so. And these players are relishing doing that. They're flourishing. And they are getting big results.
It helps when you've got a lot of pace in your side, especially up front. They certainly have that. Zaha. And with Bolasie. They look a very good side.
And this will be 4 wins in a row for Crystal Palace. Connor Wickham.
I say nobody wants it, do they? Everything becomes a little bit static.
Van Aanholt managed to move away from Wilf Zaha and delivered a fine ball, which is finished off by Connor Wickham. And Sunderland fans have something to cheer.
That's a cracking goal, it really is. Crystal Palace will be disappointed they conceded. There's some decent movement there. Beautiful 1-2 played. Van Aanholt gets in there and he delivers a cracker, and that's great adjustment by Connor Wickham. Defoe instrumental in that move, pulls it back. Confidence is sky high. Well, the scoreboard at the bottom end says Sun 1, Cry 4, and you can understand that you want to cry, don't you?
Well, the Crystal Palace fans will be smiling now, and they'll be smiling all the way back down to South London, because this is a big win for Palace, and a big win too for Alan Pardew. But that man there, Dick Advocaat, has got plenty to do. Van Aanholt. There's Connor Wickham.
Why didn't Van Aanholt shoot there?
Now it's Johnson. Van Aanholt did shoot that time and almost got his rewards.
Somebody sprang into life. Wickham holds it up well here. There it's played back. There's the strike. It must have been a fingertip save onto the bar. Got a bit lucky here with the deflection. A fingertip from Speroni.
Another chance here for Adam Johnson to swing this ball in. Deep one this time. Palace with plenty back. Back in by Rodwell. Out by Dan. Wickham leaves it to Defoe. And what will encourage Dick Advocaat is that Sunderland have kept going here.
Yeah, and the people who are left encouraged by it a little bit.
Johnson's corner again. 1 week world beaters, next week crisis. Welcome to life at Sunderland. Heroes were made on this pitch last week,